How's it going? So, I have here my Panda Loach tank, right? The cold water tank, or whatever you want to call it. And I've gotten rid of most of the Neocaridinas. Now, if you didn't watch my last video, I talked about getting in some shadow pandas, and I got them in. I'm super excited to talk to you guys about that. But first, I also mentioned on the last video that I was going to take out the colony of Neocaridinas that I had in here. Blue Dreams, Blue Diamonds, whatever you want to call them. Blue Dreams, whatever. Blue Neos. I took them all out. I put them in the other tank now. They're doing fine. You can see them right there. Chilling, eating. Surprisingly, the rams have not really been bothering them. And these are all like medium-sized and up. I haven't had any tiny ones in here. But, so, oop, there's a wild one right there. Wild coloring. That one came from the first batch of shrimps that when I first got my 10 original Neocaridinas, they gave birth to a ton of these guys. Tons of these guys, these wild ones. Got rid of them, and one more was born on the second generation. So I don't know what that means, really, because the first generation, it was really 50-50. It was like 50 blues and 50 of the wilds, and, well, that's, pretty good now. I mean, it's a good ratio now, just one of them. It looks really cool, actually. The other ones were really weird looking, but this one seems to look really nice. But anyways, so I got rid of most of the Neocaridinas, put them on the other tank, and now I introduced shadow pandas, but I ran into well, not really a problem, but it's kind of like like one of those things where you plan something to work a certain way and it works completely opposite. So I've introduced 10 shadow pandas in here, along with, I already had one other shadow panda, so there's 11 total shadow pandas, and one somewhat higher grade, just regular panda, right? It's almost in between a panda and a black King Kong. And so what the reason why I'm kind of bummed a little is I figured they would be like the Neocaridinas, but I completely forgot one thing, and that is when I first initially got pandas, when I was trying out a while back, I tried out a couple pandas, and I'm talking about Caridinas here, and which, by the way, they crawled out of the tank, and it was so sad, but that's how that went, I guess. They were really shy. They don't come out much, or they would stay behind cover or undercover, versus the Neocaridinas. Maybe because the Neos had a giant colony, but the Neos actually are out and about. They're kind of just chilling. Oh, look at this guy over here. This is an awesome new addition to the tank. I added him maybe about a couple weeks ago. I just have a hard time getting video of him. It's sold to me as a neon blue goby, but it's a something Dawn. I forgot the name, but that's another alligator. Anyways, so the Neos, I mean the Caridinas that I've had in the past, the pandas, they all hide. So what's going on here basically is I do have about 12 panda shrimps, right, in total, but none of them are out. None of them are out here. Like literally, if you told me there's some panda shrimps in here, I would say I don't see any. And that is because they are hanging out in the back, of course, because that's where they feel safer. See, there's one right there. And then there's a few down there, if you can focus the camera. Oh, they're not even there anymore. They moved. Oh, there's one right there. Ugh. Right there. You can kind of, let me see, put my finger. Right there's one. Right there. Anyways, they are hanging out in the back. They have no reason to come to the front, mostly because when I feed, I kind of scatter the food around, so they don't really need to come to the front. Oh wow, look at this guy. He decided to show up. Literally all day I've been trying to get a good video of these guys, and so this is not one of the shadow pandas. This is one of the ones I got before that. This is one of the like the higher grade panda shrimps. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is a higher grade. This is like a, I think they call it a tiger tooth because of that second band. So the first band's on his eyes or whatever. The second band is right there in the belly, and it has a little bit of a tiger tooth coloration, or I guess pattern. It's white. It's not blue, so it's not one of the shadow pandas. Now this one, I believe it's out and about because it's already been acclimated very well. It's been in this tank for about a week now, versus the shadow pandas have been in here for about, I think, 3 or 4 days. 3 days, something like that. So those guys are like hidden because, well, that's been my experience, I guess, with pandas. Is when you first introduce them, they kind of hide for days. Like the one I had before this, they didn't show up out here at all for a long time. Maybe about a week or two before they actually started showing up. And this guy, like I said, has been around here for a week now, is finally venturing out to see everything else, to look at it, you know, and kind of like walk around. Now, I do have them in with panda loaches, like I said. Panda loaches don't bother them, except for once in a while they get startled by the panda loaches, but the Neos were doing perfectly fine. Oh, look at the guy. The neon goby came out. Stifidin. There you go. That's the name. It's a Stifidin species. There it is. It's basically an algae eater. Same thing as the panda loach. What was I saying? Yeah, so it seems like it's gonna take a while for these guys to come out. I don't remember how Neocaridinas were when I first added them, but I feel like they weren't as shy. I might be wrong. And my dad's tank, he has a 5-gallon tank with 10 as well. He got 10. He got 5 shadow pandas and 5 regulars. So if there's a Neo that's still too small, I'm gonna try adding them and see what happens. But some of them are still in here. He has 10 and in a 5-gallon, and I barely see them. He hasn't really like heavily planted, at least for a 5-gallon, and I don't see them ever. He at one point had like 4 before he found out how to really take care of them and the whole TDS thing, and they would rarely come out. Like they literally did not care to come out. We realized that I think one of the reasons why they don't come out is because I think it's because of lighting, honestly. I think, at least from my experience, it seems like Caridina prefers low light, and in a high light situation, I feel like I've noticed they more or less just hide, right? Because there's food everywhere in tanks, right? So if you have a rock pile like this, they could literally spend days inside the rock pile just picking at food, not having to really come out. So yeah, so they're hanging out in the back for now, I guess. Hopefully, hopefully they come out. I mean, I'd love to see them. If not, it's fine. I'm probably gonna have to get some more, and I'll probably just get more shrimps. I'll just keep adding. Every time I go to the store or pet store or something, if they have some, I'll just grab 1 or 2. But for now, this is the start. I'm keeping this tank at about, I think it's like 74 degrees right now, which is on the warmer side. Normally I keep them lower than that, 68, 70. And that's mostly because it's summertime right now. And the TDS, I just got it down to 110. I did some more reading, and I thought 150, 180 was fine. But I think that's almost getting into like Neos as far as TDS. So I went back down to about 110, and I was looking at different websites like Flip Aquatics and the people I got the shrimps from, which is Blue Crown Aqua, and looks like I think 80 is on the low end, and I think like 150 is the high end, maybe. And then some websites say 180. So I'm just gonna play it safe and go with 110 to 130 ish, around there. I also noticed that when I add food and stuff like that, I slowly start to bring up the TDS, I guess, or maybe my TDS meter's off, but I am using the TDS meter that most people use, that you would find like at on Amazon. But yeah, this is it right here, guys. Shadow pandas are in there somewhere. Look, this is cool. Look, check this out. There is a Neocaridina, the last female, I believe, and she is buried, or pregnant, full of eggs. I guess she didn't get the memo that the colony was moving out, and she's like, well, I'm just gonna make a bigger colony. I'm just gonna continue the colony by myself. There's probably, if I were to estimate, there's at least another 10 small Neos left. I've taken out a lot. I didn't count how many I took out, but it was a good amount. Again, I mean, let's just take a small count right now. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Real fast, real fast, real fast. 6 back there, 7. Oh, there's a ginormous one. That's another female. Did I count that one? 8, 9, 10, 11. I didn't even see that guy. There's 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If I were to estimate, I'd say I'd move like 20 of this size and up. I can't even focus on that one. Well, of this size and up. That size and up. It also gave me a good way to look at how well my strain is going. And it looks like I'm getting about 30 to 40% of these light, maybe 30% of these light ones. I forget what you would want to call these. I want to say they look like a jelly, blue jelly or whatever. There's so many names, so I don't know. And I'm also getting like another 30% of these dark blue, and then like the in-betweens, which are like these guys. They're like dark patch on the head, dark patch on the tail, but still kind of clear in the middle, almost like a Riley pattern, or Riley, whatever you want to call it. Here's another example of a very, very almost see-through one right there. Oh, it's hard by the pina to fight up. Anyways, this video's starting to get weird. Zooming in too much. So yeah, so the Neos are coming out because it's starting to get a little too soft for them, and hopefully I can get them all out within the next week or so, because the TDS is very low at this point. Although I think they'll be fine. The only problem they'll have is with their molts, so you do want to get harder water for them. But I don't think I have to like do it right now, like this second. So yeah, guys, it's a little Shadow Panda update. I wish I had one up front to show, but these guys are so timid, so shy, and I just can't see any. I mean, I've seen them. As the day goes by, I look at my tank and I'm like, where is there one? Is there one? And I'll see one and I'm like, wow! And then, it goes away. There is. Let's see if I can spot some in the back. I don't know. I spot the gravid female for the Neos. Yeah, I don't see any, guys. Yeah, well, that's it. That's all I got for now, guys. Shadow Panda's in, and Neocaridina's out. Pendaloches still doing their thing, lining up like little weirdos, socializing. They're waiting for their food. I'll feed them later today. Guppies, over there trying to mate again, and then the little baby guppies are just hanging in there. I don't do anything special with them. I don't need baby guppies, but they're kind of cool, There's about 11 in here, baby guppies, as long as they haven't been eaten by the parents, but I don't think so, because they're already kind of big. See that? Baby guppy. Now I hope they're fire reds, otherwise it'll be. There's a guppy in the back over there. You see it in the other tank? I moved it. It's this black guppy back there. It's very young, but there's a possibility that it had those babies, because it was in there for like a day or two, and then the baby showed up, and I was like, well, it's either this female or this guppy over here female. Wait. So I don't know which one it would be. I hope it wasn't this one, because I don't want, what is that, tuxedo blacks or whatever. I'm not too into guppies. The only reason I like guppies is for like coloration, right? So if it turns out that these are black, I'm just gonna give them away. I'm literally just gonna take them to any pet store and be like, just take them. I don't like guppies that much, and black guppies I just kind of like have no. My background is black, so that's why you can barely see that guy, that female right there. I'm not used for black guppies. Alright, guys. Have a good one. Take care. I'll see if I can make some more videos of other random stuff. But for now, check this guy out. Awesome. Full adult. The other guys are still on their way to get that full pattern. They'll get there. Later. My hair allergy is crazy.